Welcome to the Sentimental Twist,
where two generations share one love for meaningful spaces and gracious hospitality.
I'm Brittany.
And I'm Melissa.
Let's gather around the table and talk home, hosting, and all things sentimental.
Yay! We're so happy you're here.
Yes.
Episode 2 of season 4. We're so happy to be back after our summer break. Hopefully you caught our first episode of this season.
Mm-hmm.
I am Melissa. You can find me at Home with a Twist on Instagram, homewithatwist.com, and Home with a Twist on YouTube.
Yes. And I'm Brittany, and I'm at Brittany Shepard on Instagram, thesentimentaldecorator.com, and Brittany Shepard TSD on YouTube as well.
So what's been going on with you since we talked last?
Well, I quit my job.
I am so excited for you. This sounds like the opportunity of a lifetime.
So I put in my notice, and my last day was when the last episode aired. But I am starting work soon with a local credit union, and they have a large region of branches that go into Georgia, where I'm from. And I'm doing marketing and social media for them. And it is sort of a part-time, position that I can I need to travel to the locations, and I will be doing a lot of their content and social media, which is right up my alley, and marketing. And it gives me an opportunity to grow and build more for the Sentimental Decorator and do some more of my marketing consulting and helping other influencers and social media content creators. And so it was just the right timing. And, I like to hold to the truth that God is before all things, and in Him all things hold together. And when the decision was being made, it was just the peace that I felt taking this step at this point in my life and giving myself some more freedom to be there for my nibblings and do something that I'm really excited about, and also continue to grow the Sentimental Decorator and do things through that. It was just a no-brainer, and I'm excited about it. So I start there next week. So
I'm so excited for you. This is just going to be life-changing.
I think so.
It's going to allow you to redirect your passion toward things that you really enjoy doing. And in this new job, you're basically helping them to grow their social media. So that's exciting,
Mm-hmm.
to use your creativity and your strengths and your knowledge of what works on social media. Are they on TikTok too?
I don't know if I think they may have a TikTok account, but it hasn't been really focused on.
Yeah.
And their accounts are very small right now, but they have a lot of members. So our goal is to get members onto the social media, because there's 29 or 30 branches, also known as financial centers. That's what they're called. And so it's a really awesome company. It seems like a lovely environment to work in, and it's the most fun interview for a job that I've ever had. So I'm excited about it. So,
Well, I'm thrilled for you. So nothing new with me, just enjoying my pool. And
soaking up summer sun.
we finally got my laundry room finished. We started it back in May. But it's a mission creep sometimes.
Always is.
And I partnered with Melissa Dayton Art. She gifted me the most beautiful wallpaper. I got to pick what I wanted. And I'm just so excited. It's just so fresh and clean and pretty in there. And so I'm excited about sharing that with everybody on my social and on my website. So
It's beautiful.
okay, so we're going to talk about. We kind of hinted at the last episode that soft transition to fall.
Yes. We don't want to rush
So
it, but we want to.
yeah, we kind of feel like sometimes August gets overlooked and
Mhm.
rushed through, and I have to admit I'm guilty of that. And also with my birthday being in August, I'm kind of anticipating my birthday, and so I just want August to hurry up. But I think we're going to talk about balance today, about the seasons,
Mhm.
and that it's what we're going to talk about in terms of when should I decorate for fall?
Mhm.
That the better question is, how can I make my home feel more cozy?
Mm.
Because cozy doesn't have to mean pumpkins.
Right. Yeah.
It can simply mean just not rushing immediately to fall.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Easing into it.
So, Brittany,
Mm.
When you think about your home changing from summer to fall, what's the very first thing that naturally changes?
Honestly, I earlier than I would decor, I start shifting my fragrances. So, like my Pura pods and my candles to more woodsy, spiced, savory almost scents as opposed to the fresh citrus summery smells that I have. And my summer candle has been the Nest bamboo and it's very summery. And so shifting to more of the um gourmand or whatever, and the woodsy like sandalwood with a little bit of freshness in there, still some floral, but like that tail end of summer floral where it's the fading florals and you're getting more into the fall scents. And then my favorite fall candle, I think I shared this last year, is a Bath and Body Works leaves candle. And so I'll do that.
Oh.
But I usually don't bring that out until Labor Day weekend. Like I let that be the scent that
So
transitions
that's kinda your thing,
her.
is like,
Mhm.
that's your sign of fall's coming is Labor Day weekend, we light the leaves candle from
Yeah,
Bath& and Body Works.
yes.
And
Because
so what
it
are some other well, you said, what were some of the other candle brands that you like,
I
that you buy?
love the Nest. It's a little pricey. It's one of those pricier brands, but the Nest has some really great quality fragrances and candles. I love the Capri brand that Anthropologie carries. A lot of times I just go into Home Goods when I need a new candle and I find one that really fits the season I want to feel in my home or smell in my home. And so I'm not really big on like brands necessarily there, but my Christmas candle is always going to be Nest Holiday and my fall candle is Bath and Body Works leaves. But I love, oh gosh, I love candles and I know they're not the best necessarily for you, but trying to find cleaner ones is always good. And then the Pura pods, we've talked about that in previous seasons. They last longer than candles, and they're not quite as expensive as a really good candle, so you can experience different fragrances, and there's a sandalwood vanilla one, and I can't think of the brand. That's a kind of a fall wintry smell for me, um, and I like it's a hint of vanilla, it's not super sweet. I'm trying to think of there's some spiced cider ones that I'll bring out September,
Oh,
October.
yeah.
Um, there's one called Welcome Home, and I can picture the logo in my mind. I cannot tell you what brand that is, but I can see the logo. I'll look it up and put it in the show notes. And that's a good one. That's kind of a good fall transitional. Has a little apple in it to kind of bring that fall fragrance in. But yeah, scent is the first thing that changes in my home. And then I do as it's cooling off, which, here it's still not gonna be super cool, but the evenings do start to get cooler, and so I'll sit outside a lot more than I am during the summertime. I mean, I can't really sit outside right now unless it's very early in the morning or very late in the evening, and so spending some more time outside, maybe if it's nice in the mornings, having my coffee on the patio, moving outdoors a little bit more because outdoors for us in the summer is you either have to be in water or have a really massive fan blowing on you to be outside at this time of year, so
Yeah,
What
yeah.
about you?
I, I love fragrance too. I think, how I bring fragrance in the home is through, baking.
Mm,
Like, I'll start baking that pumpkin bread
mhm,
or maybe like an apple cake
mhm.
or snickerdoodles, something that's, heavier with the scent. Some, uh, pound cake, maybe a cinnamon pound cake or something. But I tell you, my one of my things I've shifted to because I love candles also, but gosh,
Mhm,
they're so expensive.
mhm.
And, you like to burn your candles and keep them on. And then before you know it, by the end of the day, your candle's gone.
Mhm.
So 2 places that I like to get my candles from or my scents from well, one place I'll just share is well, 2 places. So Happy Wax.
But that's right.
I think I've talked about Happy Wax
Mhm,
before. So what I like about Happy Wax is they sell their burners, which are just like a melting pot.
mhm.
But one of the things that they do, and maybe there's other makers, but I'm only familiar with Happy Wax, is that the top has a silicone insert. So when you're done with those particular melts, then you can pop the wax out and throw it away and then
Okay.
change your scent. You're not having to take a knife or a fork and dig
Dig it
into
out.
the
Mm.
ceramic to get it out. But where I like to buy my scent pods for my wax melts is from Laurel Candle Company,
Okay.
the, scent library, Laurel Scent Libraries. It's Aaron and Ben Napier's
Mhm.
company. I like to buy their wax melts. They're $7, I think, for 8
Okay.
wax melts. So I usually put like maybe it's 9 wax melt. I think it's 9. So I'll put 3 in at a time.
Okay.
So that gives me 3 different opportunities to use them. And I usually will melt them maybe 2 or 3 times so
Mhm.
the fragrance lasts. But Erin has a really nice library of scents that are reminiscent to her growing up.
Okay.
The smell of biscuits,
Mm.
peaches,
Mhm.
tomatoes.
Mhm.
I'm sure they'll launch their fall line soon, but one I have burning in the background is her grandmother's name was Ouida.
Mhm.
So it's Ouida's garden, and it's roses and 4 clocks.
How
And so that's been my summer scent because it's just very light and floral and fresh. But I've really been switching out to I have a candle in here, but I think I may get a happy wax for in my bedroom,
Mhm.
so I don't have to worry about the candle.
Mhm.
But the other thing I like to use is my diffuser. And for the summer, my sister turned me on to the fragrance oil geranium. I would walk out of my bedroom at her house, and I could instantly smell it. Wasn't overpowering, but it's just a very clean scent.
Mhm.
And she would mix that with I like to mix it with lemon, and lavender.
I love bergamot. That's one of my favorites, I think.
Yeah, and it just makes the house smell so fresh and pretty and inviting. But I have to say, when I came to your house in May, one of the first things I noticed was how good your house smelled.
Good. And it
I
was
think you had
probably that Nest bamboo because that
I
was
think
the
you had
one
a
that I
candle
burned.
burning in every room, but it wasn't like walking into, like, Kirkland's
Right.
where you just feel like you're gonna pass out
Yeah.
or you're gonna have an allergy attack.
Yeah.
It was really nice and welcoming, and it was very homey, and I you had that was a good thing that you did.
Good. I'm
So,
glad you liked
yeah.
it.
So I'm kind of on board with you too for
Yeah.
scents. I
Yeah.
don't do a lot of decorating. I still keep my shells out, my
Mhm.
postcards. Um, I think I just kind of with my baking and my candle scents, that's kinda how I start to dip a toe into fall.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
So if our listeners are out there, we would love for them to weigh in on what you do for these in-between months. Like, what do you do between August and September? Does August disappear? Because I know a lot of our listeners have school-aged children. It's back to business as usual. It's school projects, packing those lunches, backpacks, and sports. Is August just a pass through for you, or is it symbolic? Is there something that always happens in August? I mean, to weigh in on that,
Mhm.
send us an email at the sentimental twist podcast at gmail.com, and we would love for you to share how you spend your August.
Yeah.
Are
And how
you
you soft launch into fall as well, you know?
absolutely? We want to hear that because you may give us some inspiration.
Mhm.
Okay, we're moving to your favorite segment, which is
Porch
Porch
talk.
Talk Speed Round, where we ask each other questions and give quick responses so we can pull the curtain back and you can learn a little bit more about who we are.
Mhm.
I always ask Brittany first.
I like these.
Yeah, so this is a fill in the blank.
Mhm.
A home never feels complete without.
A dog.
I was going to say that.
It's so true. We can have the
Okay,
same answers, that's okay.
I know. Okay. And everybody knows that they listened to last episode that your sweet little Brady is now in his living his best life in heaven.
Mhm.
Sweet little puppy.
He
And we've
made a
got
lot of appearances as he coughed in previous episodes, but y'all couldn't hear it because the editing software, like, drowns it out somehow, but we could hear it and got distracted, so
yeah, several times I thought maybe she had an overnight guest that was having a lung transplant in the background because he just was a hacker.
he
But
did.
he lived a great life with you. He was loved and you loved him and
Oh, yeah.
it's all good. It's all good. We miss him, but he's well and whole and
Mhm.
living
Not
with your
diabetic
mom.
anymore. Bless
No.
it. I miss him. Okay.
Every hostess should own.
Okay, I immediately went to, like, the drip coffee pot situation, but I wanna take it a step further and do, like, a pretty carafe that you can serve hot beverages from. because I think that's just an elevated way to make your coffee look like more intentional and out of instead of just necessarily pouring it out of the pot every time, which is not bad. I do that a lot. But I have a Southern Living at home Astoria carafe, and you know what I'm talking about because you sold it too, but, and when I have, like, a small gathering of people, I will make the coffee and put it in the carafe so that it's poured from something lovely and can sit on the table instead of having to go to the coffee pot every time. So,
You really are the queen of the coffee station.
I love a coffee station. You have a great coffee station too.
No, but I just like yours because at Brittany's house, she has a built-in, and underneath it is a refrigerator. It's one of those glass door refrigerators, and you have your beverages in there for your guests. I was gonna say
Mhm.
clients, but that could be.
Maybe.
Your creamers,
Mhm.
your, soft
Wine.
drinks, your
Mhm.
waters, whatever. And then on the top, you've got just beautifully displayed with your Smeg coffee maker and then, like, all the things for the sugars and the spoons and the mugs, and it's just I don't know, it's just so welcoming. It's like the first thing you look forward to in the morning. I get to go make coffee in Brittany's coffee bar.
Good. I'm glad. That was I really am glad that I decided to do that because it was a little built-in desk area, and I knew I would never sit there and use it as a desk, and so that was my way to transfer leave the shelves that existed, add the little refrigerator where the desk portion was, and but I got a new set of drawers so that we could have them tall enough where the little fridge would fit
Yeah.
underneath. But
We have a wine fridge, and quite honestly, we've had it now for 10 years, and I don't even know that it's really chilling the wine much anymore. But if I had it to do over again, I would use it as a beverage. It's very narrow. We had it, it's not a custom refrigerator, but I think the size is not your standard size.
Mhm.
So if I had it to do over again, I would do a refrigerator, not just a wine chiller,
Mhm.
because then I think it would be more multi-purpose.
Yeah.
Okay. A handwritten recipe is more valuable than expensive china. You have 10 seconds to defend your opinion.
I agree, yes, completely, because we've talked about this a lot before. That the handwriting is the heirloom in and of itself, and not only a recipe for you to use and share with others, but you can also display and make it part of your decor, and it be sentimental decor in your kitchen.
I would accept that answer. Signature cocktail or signature dessert?
Ugh, gosh, I think the cocktail. No, I don't know. Dessert? I don't have a signature like, I'm not the baker, I'm not the sweet person in my group of friends that makes the baked goods, but I also don't make a lot of cocktails, but I think if I were having a party and planning, I would choose a signature cocktail over a signature dessert. So,
Okay.
yeah,
Company is coming in an hour, so I'm
done. I'm gonna be done as best as possible. I'm gonna be sitting on the couch preparing, waiting, freshening myself up, like, as much as I can do beforehand, I'm gonna be done. But if it's like a last minute thing, I don't know that they're coming, that's a total different story. You know?
yeah, your hair's running around with your see, it for me, company's coming in an hour, and what that means is that I am removing all of the couch covers.
That also is happening too, yes.
Yeah, because I
Mhm.
can't Brittany and I have pets,
Mm.
and a lot of times Hazel's a dream. Hazel does not it's the cats that are always vomiting on my furniture. So, I just found some the other day, and that's why I keep my it doesn't look nice if you were to drop by unannounced and I didn't have time, or if you're a good friend of mine and I don't like my friend Mary's coming in town for the weekend. I don't care if the couches are covered. But if you've never been to my house before, I'm gonna remove all that.
Yeah, I do
But I
that too.
had a cat that vomited, and they don't make why can't they just vomit on the tile? They have to vomit on the furniture and
On the
just
textiles, the things that are
on
harder
and
to
they
clean.
don't quite miss the couch. So thank goodness I keep them covered because then I can just wash it
Mhm.
and, we're good.
Yeah.
Um, so my and also picking up after Mr. Twist. He tends to leave things just kinda willy-nilly around the house and
Perks of being single, but I pick up after myself because I have a tendency to do that as well. Like, when on a week like a busy week, the kitchen table somehow just becomes the dumping ground. I don't how why?
Your purse, your mail, something
Mhm.
you were reading, a stack of bills, whatever.
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
normal,
Yeah.
but, he just is a real, like, created a really nice space for him in the closet with a drawer with, his for his sunglasses and his little all these little catch-alls, little compartments for him to put all his stuff, and somehow it just does not make it in there. Our house was the cleanest and the prettiest it's ever been the day of that Homeworthy shoot. Nothing was not in its place,
That's perfect. Mhm.
and it lasted for about a week, and now it's back to, "We gotta put crap away, Mr. Twist."
I get it. I get it. Okay, let me ask you the questions, the fill
Okay,
in. A home never feels complete without.
a cat,
Okay, okay, that's good. Okay. Every hostess should own.
a guest book.
Ooh, that's a good one. I like that.
I have one tucked away I have one in my guest bedroom,
Mhm.
and then I have one in my, entryway that I keep kind of tucked away, and when I'm gonna have friends over, I always have them sign it
Mhm.
because we're not always promised tomorrow,
Mhm.
and there are lots of signatures in there of my dear friends who are not with us anymore,
Yeah.
and there are so many pretty guest books. The one I have came from my bestie Julie's mother. I wanna say it says on the inside front cover that it might have been her guest book from when she got married.
Mm,
Not Julie, but her
like
mother.
your mother. That
Um, and I don't think it ever got used because I don't think there's any signatures in there of people I don't know.
maybe she had
Or
multiples, like, people gave her guest books.
maybe so, and when after Evelyn passed away, Julie gave it to me, and so now I use it as a guest book. So I think that that's just, it's part of what we talk about is story keeping
Mhm.
and
Mhm.
I think that's the perfect hostess gift
Yeah.
is a guest book.
I love that. Yeah, okay. I need to get a guest book because that's something that I have not done. So, inspired.
Yeah.
Okay. A handwritten recipe is more valuable than expensive china. You have 10 seconds to defend your opinion. Go.
I would totally agree because you can buy expensive china, you can't buy someone's written recipe.
Yes.
And, I took your advice and got that really cute little kitchen binder for Phoebe for Christmas, and we've been working on putting recipes from people's handwriting in there,
Mhm.
because time is fleeting.
Yeah, it
You
is.
think you've got all the time in the world to sit down and ask grandma about her cornbread recipe,
Mhm.
and I beg people. Here's one of the things I talk about a lot at Thanksgiving is that hosts get so overwhelmed with being the one that wants to make all the food because there's
Mm.
a lot of tradition and story
Yeah.
keeping in that. And I understand wanting to keep control of that. But the greatest gift that you can give someone as a host is to say, you know what? I would like for you to now be the keeper of the cornbread dressing recipe.
Mhm.
Come over to my house. I'll teach you how to make it and we'll put it in the freezer until Thanksgiving.
Mhm.
'Cause you don't wanna make it in, like you don't wanna make it a few days before Thanks I mean, you don't wanna make it, like, in September and then have to eat it. Does that make sense? I mean, you could. I'll eat Thanksgiving dinner anytime. But you could say, "Hey, could you come over maybe 2 or 3 weeks before Thanksgiving? We're gonna make it together in my kitchen. I'm gonna write the recipe down. It'll be already done. We'll put it in the freezer. But then from then on out, you're responsible for bringing it for Thanksgiving."
Mhm. I
Now
like.
you've freed up that you don't have to do it. You've passed on that legacy to someone else.
Mhm.
But the value of your handwriting for someone else to see is just you can't buy that. It's priceless.
Yeah. I like that. That's good. Okay, signature cocktail or signature dessert?
I know you think you know the answer. It's
Uh,
signature cocktail.
yeah.
I loved when we had Lydia Menzies on the show and she talked about naming the cocktail after maybe the guest of honor or whoever's coming to your party. I
I love.
thought that was brilliant.
Mhm. Yeah, I love that too.
Ugh.
Mhm.
and I just love a good cocktail. I don't know if it's the age that I'm at or what, but, um, there's certain liquors I can't drink anymore because of being older, like tequila. Tequila, I mean, I can have a margarita, but I definitely cannot drink mezcal.
Okay.
That's the
Headache?
worm.
Make you
That's
sick?
the worm tequila.
Oh, yeah.
That will knock me out.
Mhm.
But
Gives me
a
a
good
headache.
signature cocktail. Yeah.
Okay. Company's coming well, you kinda said this, but we can talk about it again. Company's coming in an hour, so I'm
The older I've gotten, the less I care about where everything is perfect.
Mhm.
If they're coming in the summer, we're gonna be partying out by the pool. So I don't care so much uh about what my inside house looks like.
Mhm.
Um, but I would have to say if they're coming in an hour, I've probably done most everything. I'm like you. I'm just kinda like freshening my makeup,
Mhm.
going around lighting candles, making sure the powder room has all its toilet paper and napkins and it's clean and,
Yeah.
just the last minute things. I'm definitely and I may be putting an appetizer in the oven, and that just comes from experience
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
timing and planning.
Mhm. Learning that timing, what works best for you
Yeah,
is
you know what?
experience, yep.
I've been surveying women
Go ahead.
about their pain points for hospitality,
Mhm.
and that is the number one thing at the top is how to time everything.
Okay, the timeline, yeah, that makes
Yeah,
sense.
yeah.
Okay. Those were good.
Alright.
We were similar. Okay, this next segment, I'm really excited about sharing and talking about this.
Ew.
We're gonna talk about what to do with silver that nobody polishes anymore. And silver has kind of made a resurgence on the Instagrams and in social media. You're seeing a lot of like silver plate walls, like not silver plate walls, but walls that are like gallery walls of silver pieces, which I love. I love using things like this for not their intended purpose. And we can talk about that a little bit. But why did we stop using silver is a good question. So, um, I think silver kinda got relegated, and this is not necessarily our generation, but maybe generations before as the special use only, special occasion only, and you know how I feel about that. Don't save things for someday. Don't save things for special occasions. And so most people don't feel like their life has enough special occasions to justify the upkeep of keeping it polished. You know, to me, I love the patina of silver and brass and not keeping it polished. Now, there are some pieces that I will polish, like a Revere bowl, and to me, that needs to be a polished silver piece, but I don't use it for food generally. I use it for paperweights or something like that. But it's kind of that presence over perfection situation you have with hosting and things, but when it comes to the silver, like keeping it and having it and not feeling like it has to be used for a fancy occasion or in perfect polished condition to be used. So let's talk about everyday ways to bring silver back
Mm.
into our lives. And here's some ideas that we thought of we'd like to share with y'all. So use a silver creamer, serving creamer, as a bud vase. I mentioned the Revere bowl holding paperweights, but they can also be, you can make them to be little plant holders. I have
Yeah, or for shells.
Mhm. Oh, I love that too. Mismatched silver spoons for stirring coffee, instant character. I use mismatched small, tiny spoons that are silver and different polishes as my tasting spoons in a creamer by my stove because I don't use sugar creamer sets often. Like I have multiples that I have from family and grandmothers and stuff, and I don't use them always for that intended purpose. So I have a creamer with my silver spoons that are mismatched as my tasting spoons when I'm cooking. Silver trays. This is one of my
Mm.
things for catch-alls. I have a silver tray on the coffee bar that holds the coffee canister and the spoons and things, everything we need for making coffee. And recently on my coffee bar, wish I had had it for you because it was something we had at the store and we had already packed it up to move. And I thought of it the week before y'all were coming. But it's one of those fan vases, silver fan,
Yes.
you know? And I have the cone-shaped coffee filter. They fit perfectly in the silver fan vase.
Okay, you need to share that on the
Okay.
Instagrams.
Okay. I will. I'll have to. But the trays, and you've seen this in my house, how I have that big one under the settee and all the magazines are on it. I think silver trays, polished or not, make really great catch all trays at the front door. Um, my little by the range things like oil and vinegar, salt, and the tasting spoons are all on a small silver tray. So silver trays can be used on the bathroom counter. Be careful with them on the bathroom counter because they will tarnish a little bit and leave the if it's in a humid environment, you wanna make sure they're not gonna be where, like, they can tarnish your marble top or something like that. But, you can use them for all different things. They don't have to be used for their intended purpose. So
Yeah, I love that. So the tarnish myth. So we're going to address the polishing intimidation head on. Quick myths versus reality. Tarnish isn't damage. It's just a patina. It's the oxidation of the air hitting the silver,
mm,
but it gets into the crevices, and that just is what gives it charm and the antique. It's not dirty by any stretch of the imagination. And there are some people that just really don't like that, and that's okay. But one thing I wanted to share with everybody is we're going to have her on as a guest this season is Kelly from her Instagram tag is at hello it's Kelly Kelli, and she has a silver guide which I'm going to take the month of August to teach myself how to be a better steward of my silver. It is free. If you just go to her Instagram, it's a complete guide. She does a Saturday silver series. So every Saturday, she talks to you about how to care for, how to shop for, how to care for, and to be a good steward of your silver. So she covers all these things. What is pitting? How to polish silver. And the other day she was doing one that said, if you go back and forth or in circles, you're actually scratching your silver.
Whoa.
So you should go in downward strokes.
Up and like, from top to bottom, start again, top to bottom.
Yes, not
Okay.
like this because that scratches it. She talks
Interest
about how to store silver,
Mhm,
foods that should not go on to silver, using silver for beyond the table.
mhm.
She talks about Revere bowls, champagne buckets for flowers, julep cups for arrangements, and then she gives her final thought. And then she has a whole Amazon storefront of all the supplies you need to be better care of your silver. So I'm really excited about her because I want to hear about her silver journey.
Mhm.
Be sure to give her a follow because she's got a great account with some good information. I was bent forks. Like if you go to an estate sale, tag sale, yard sale. Do you remember watching that movie? It was the movie with Harrison Ford and Tommy Lee Jones. Is it called U.S. Marshal?
Mhm.
It's where he
Something
killed and he goes outhouse, hen house, dog house,
uh-huh.
boat house. Okay, well that's kind of like the thing is that uh, estate sales, yard sales, tag sales,
Flea markets, whatever.
flea markets, resale shops. A lot of times they'll just have these big bins of silverware, just mismatched
Mhm. It's true.
silverware. And I think it's so cute to take a silverware, like a fork, and you could use it as a yardstake to say what it is you've planted in your yard.
I like that.
Um, It's a nice garden to table aesthetic.
Mhm.
Silver trophies or cups are great for making into flower arrangements. And of course, a silver tray is just good for everything. When you go to like when I go to a lot of those show homes, the Kips Bay one every fall, Catherine and I go to, there is always a tray on the bed
Mm.
and a silver tray on a guest bed with magazines and a candle or, a good mug or something, I just think is super sharp. Everybody, in my opinion, everyone needs a good silver tray.
So in closing, land on the idea that using silver that is imperfect and tarnished is the hosting philosophy of come as you are. You don't have to be perfect. Presence over perfection. It's okay for it to have a little patina because patina is charm and use and life. And I think that's beautiful. And we want you all, if you have a piece of silver that you just kind of have stored away because you've like, I don't have time to polish that or I don't want to polish that, pull it out of storage this week and use it. And you don't have to use it for its intended purpose, like we said. And then send us a photo and the story to our email or tag us on Instagram. So our email is the Sentimental Twist Podcast at gmail.com, and we're at the Sentimental Twist Podcast on Instagram. So hopefully you've gotten some creative ways to use silver pieces, and you can use them imperfectly and not worry about polishing them. And then if you have pieces that you want to polish, we want you to give Kelly a follow and look at her guide, and then we'll have her on later this season to talk about her silver collection journey. So
Yes, absolutely. So that's your homework assignment.
yes.
Okay.
Sounds good.
All right. So now we're going to share Blessed I Had to Share It, where we share things that we're loving right now. And mine is from one of our followers. They're called personality plates.
Fun.
Okay. It's called The Sisters, and it's the first edition. Our sisters hold a special place in our hearts. They're our best friends and our confidants. They are there for us in times of laughter and in times of tears. They are by our side for the good times and the bad. Whether she was born into your family or adopted, or you grew up together in the same house, maybe you're an only child and the only sisters you have are the ones you've chosen, like your friend Anna.
Yep.
No matter how or why you call her sister, she's your family and she always will be. These plates are in honor of all our sisters out there. And the quote is, sisters function as safety nets in a chaotic world simply by being there for each other. And that's written by Carol Saline. And they're designed by an artist named Amy Reese. And she's the one who gifted these for me. It comes with a little romance card on the inside so that you can know how they're made. And these initial plates were the inspiration for the personality plates collection. Today, Amy lives in the suburb of Atlanta with her husband Jim and her golden doodle Cleo. Their blended family includes 4 beautiful daughters. So you can find them at personalityplates.com, and I think Personality Plates on Instagram. Okay, so
Show us.
it's it's a set of 4 plates, and they're microwave and dishwasher safe.
How cute.
So that's the first one.
Uh,
Blue eyes, blonde hair,
Me.
brown, black hair with blue eyes.
Blue eyes.
I
Okay.
love the red lipstick.
Red lip.
Oh, okay, here's green eyes with red hair, which that's very common.
Cute.
Isn't that cute? And then here is blonde with kind of a yellow, paisley eyes.
Pretty.
And all of them have the little elevated nose thing. And on the
That's
back, it says
adorable.
personality plates.
That's adorable.
And what I love about these is that it's the perfect size for a girl dinner.
Yeah, it is.
You know, if you just had a stack of these on your little buffet,
Mm-hmm.
and this also came with a set of matching wine charms
Cute. With the same ladies. Oh my
with the
gosh.
same ladies on them.
That's adorable.
That
Wow.
cute?
That's cute.
So I just am so excited to use these and set the table and just have a fun little get together by the pool this summer with my personality plates. So
That's
y'all be sure to give Amy, let's see, what is she? Amy, I think also has a personal account. Let's see. I'm going to look up what would we say they were called?
personality
Personality
plate.
plates. Let's just see. Personality plates. Okay, so she's on Instagram, and then Amy, the artist, has a personal account. So
Okay.
this is their account on Instagram.
Okay.
Personality. It's personality_plates.
Okay. Adorable. So
Yeah.
cute. All right. Well, my blessed, I talked about it last week, is the creamed corn recipe. And I
Yes.
found it, and it's not entirely helpful because it doesn't, of course, have measurements on it. But here's what we think we're going to do. Okay. So you make this in the like some cream corn, I guess people make on the stovetop. But we grew up, you make it in the oven in your corningware, So this is where you use a pint of corn, which I had to look up, and that is 2 cups, I believe. And then it just says butter. Butter.
We don't know how much. Could
Yeah.
be several sticks. It could be a tablespoon. We're
Yeah.
just not
And then
sure.
it's salt and
We have
grease.
no idea how much.
Salt
To
and
do.
grease.
And grease. And what's the
Grease.
grease for?
It's the fat, to make, like, to give it some, I guess, to go with the butter. But my guess is it's bacon grease or Crisco.
So what would you do if you were gonna make this?
bacon grease. So,
Do you
anyway,
just have bacon grease laying around?
I do collect it when I make when I make bacon.
Really?
Yeah,
In
it's a
that
grandma
can
thing.
in like a tomato
Mason jar,
can?
a mason jar.
In a mason jar.
Mhm. So I can
Interesting.
top it. So these are the directions. Put in oven with 2 cups of water to start off with. Add salt. Add salt, grease, butter. Keep soft. So I'm guessing it's softened butter. Cook on 350 degrees. Cooks for 30 to 40 minutes. So here's what I'm thinking. I haven't made it in a long time, but I'm
We need to
thinking
have a seance where we bring your grandmother and your mom back.
this is mama.
Yeah.
I'm like, Mom, come on. So I'm going to say start with half a stick of butter, but probably more than that, to be honest. And then just like a little tablespoon of grease. But you could use olive oil, I'm sure. Like just something to.
Yeah, but I think the saltiness from the bacon grease just really gives it the flavor.
And then I would just sprinkle salt because I don't like things to be super salty and I don't want to over salt. So just sprinkle a little bit. But then the 2 cups of water, that is in there to like water. Because when you have shucked corn, creamed corn, it gets thick. And so the water makes it be soft so that it's like spoonable with the butter and the salt and the grease, and you cook it. And then I think she says to start off with, because I do remember them like pulling it out and testing to see if it was the right consistency and adding a little water if necessary.
So
And
she never used heavy whipping cream or milk.
nope.
Interesting.
And then as far as the right consistency, I was trying to think of like oatmeal is too thick, but like corn chowder is not thick enough. So like in the middle of that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, so that's not very helpful, guys. That's my blessed. I had to share it.
But
Mama's
it's
pretty poor.
sweet, and I would be willing to try it. The only thing is I don't keep bacon grease. I'd have to fry some bacon.
Or I mean, or you really could just do a little like tables. I'm thinking it's probably like a spoonful of Crisco or a
Yeah, but I think
spoonful.
bacon grease just has that salt,
Yeah, that's true.
that savory
Um,
part. Okay.
then
Well,
I said one of my things I want to do before Labor Day is to do a Sunday dinner. So I will do this and report back. How about that?
that is your assignment,
Okay.
where everybody's
My
assignment is
homework.
to get out their silver and
Mhm.
show us how they're gonna use it, and your assignment is to make the cream corn and then report back with the measurements.
Yes.
That's a
Got it.
project for you and Anna,
Okay.
okay?
Done.
Alright.
All right.
Okay, so I guess we're gonna move on now.
Yeah. Next segment.
So Mary inadvertently, loaned me a cookbook that she and her mother put together for her grandmother called Dining with Dorothy. Isn't that the cutest? And it has lived at my house for the past 6 months, and Mary keeps asking me, "Can you just take a picture of a recipe and send it to me?" And I'm like, "God, I feel so bad that I have this, and she's coming to stay, and I don't know that I'm gonna let her have it back." Because look,
Oh, it's
it
perfect.
has all the handwritten scribbles in it. Her grandmama made the best cream candy,
Oh.
but it's not easy to make. It's one of these things where you have to pull it. It's like a, confectioner. But there was nothing that Dorothy couldn't make that I don't think was delicious.
Yeah.
And so one of the things I'm going to make this weekend is her buttermilk pound cake.
Oh, yum. I love a good pound cake.
And
That's Anna's specialty.
is it? And
Mm.
what I like about it is there's a buttermilk sauce that you make and pour over the top. So it kind of seeps down into it. Because if you're not careful, pound cake can be a little dry.
Right. You have to be. And yeah.
So I think this stuff that she puts over the top just helps it to keep moist. And there's nothing better, in my opinion, than a piece of pound cake with butter toasted
Yeah.
with coffee.
So you're so right. Mm.
So we're going to talk about turning a deceased loved one's recipes into a cookbook. Now, Dorothy, I believe, was still alive when they made this cookbook for her. I think it was everybody's Christmas present that year.
Oh, that's sweet.
Um, or it says a tribute to Grandma. Oh, in 2000. I don't think she was still alive in 2000.
So
But
maybe
anyway,
it was they made it as a gift for everybody in the
for
family.
everybody. Yeah.
This
And it's
after
pretty
this way.
thick. I mean, it's got all
Yep.
her
That's
recipes
the
in it.
recipe.
So I'm excited to What I may have to do is just gut it up and take this to the printer
And get
so that
yourself.
Mary can have it back because technically it's really hers, but I won't say anything and maybe she'll let me keep it. But she doesn't cook like I do. So anyway, all
Okay.
right. So July feels early to be thinking about Christmas, but really it's not. We know how quick the weeks go by, and this really needs a good 3 to 4 month lead time. So we're
Mhm.
going to walk you through how to inspire you to do this. So it requires lead time for recipe collection, testing and formatting, especially if it's like your mom's recipe of just butter and a smidge of salt. We're not sure. Designing, printing, and shipping. So position it as the gift that can't be a last minute Target run. Reframing early plans as thoughtful, not obsessive.
Yeah.
And tie our theme of presence over perfection philosophy. Rushing this in December means typos in grandma's handwriting and missed stories.
You're right, you're
So
right.
start with it now, and this is how you do it. So, how to in a digital age. You're going to gather photographs, handwritten recipe cards as is. Do not retype yet. Phone scanner apps like Genius Scan or Notes apps can scan. I know that Kate
Mhm.
Bagley, who was one of our guests, I think in
Season
season
1.
1, she told me about PhotoMine,
Oh, yeah, that's right.
and it's Myne. I think you do have to pay. You get a free trial period. But I'll tell you what, there is nothing better. I took a picture of my childhood
Oh,
home
yeah.
painting that someone had did, and it scanned it beautifully. It helps to here's a I don't want to review you. Here's a picture, a scan I took of a photo of mother and her best friend and Peggy.
Oh, wow, and it
And it was
did a
a
good job.
picture of a picture. Yeah, and it
Mhm.
looks amazing.
Yeah.
Okay. Um, Organizing a simple shared Google Doc between all your family members or an Airtable where families can add their own memory and story tied to each dish. Voice memos, if the person is still living, record them narrating the recipe and the story behind it. And audio can become a QR code in the book linking it to it.
That's cool.
I hadn't thought about that as QR code of the audio of the person
Mhm.
talking about it could be dropped into the
Absolutely.
book. You can use Canva, has recipe book templates for higher end Shutterfly mixed book handle photo heavy layouts. There's an app called Blurb Lulu for a more real book bound
Oh,
feel.
to, like,
So
have actually physically
bound.
that looks
Yeah.
like a okay, okay. So, some other sources and tools, she mentioned Canva, that's DIY, budget friendly, and if you have any like, they have a lot of templates, so you could probably find a template that would work, and you just plug in your text and your pictures and things like that. And then there's another one that we, in addition to what Melissa was talking about, Family Search or a shared cloud folder for collecting things, so, like, I guess that's an app, Family Search, I'm not sure. But you can also use a local print shop if you feel like you don't wanna send it off to a online place to get done. You can find local print shops. But the thing it is it's such a lovely gift to give, and I love the idea of the recipes being photographed as is with the handwriting. We talk about this a lot, but that recipe card is the legacy and the heirloom itself because that handwriting, and then the recipe itself is also an heirloom. So the recipe card is like, you know, data about your family and your history. It's a keepsake. And then the cookbook that you make becomes a keepsake as well because it includes so many different things. And then sharing who made this or who loved it most or why it's important to your family traditions is a way to keep that story moving forward and why we make this birthday cake. Like who started this particular birthday cake recipe for our family and why we do it all the time. Um, and then the book becomes an heirloom. It gets passed down and shared beyond just the family members you gift it to. And I think that's really neat because for generations, these recipes will live on in your family. And it's not about just preserving the food and the recipe but you're preserving how you were loved on and others were loved on in your family through the cooking and making and sharing of food, especially when you have people in your family who food is their love language or was their love language, like serving you and that's my grandma Ella. Like that was how she showed her love was by making delicious food for the people she loved and making those special dishes that everyone particularly liked and making sure they were all on the table. Uh, so we want you to think about this as a possible gift for Christmas and start now. You have a little time. Who might you like to give it to? And then think about some of the dishes that you'd like to include. And one question we want to ask is what's the dish that you can't smell without thinking of a particular person or loved one? My bacon and coffee always brings me to my granddaddy, my Papa Milton and Granny Ella, because that's the smell waking up at their house. Pound cake makes me think of Anna because she cooks it. That's one of my favorite things that she makes, and I always request it for my birthday. So think about the recipes and how they smell and who comes to your mind when you smell them. So,
Yeah. And that cute book, Dish and Tell.
oh, yeah.
Do you want to, can you go grab that?
Yes.
We could show everybody as that could be inspiration for the layout.
Oh, yeah.
Book- Show everybody the book if they're curious, need inspiration on how to format a page.
So
So that is so cute.
this book is called Dish and Tell. It's by Sarah Peterson, and we hope to have her as a guest this season. We're working on scheduling that. But she has a lovely website and Substack called Vintage Dish and Tell, vintagedishandtell.com. But this book she created and collected recipes from her family and other families and made it into a recipe book. Now, you can actually buy this on Amazon.
It's like, I think there's a coupon with it now, so it's like $17. We'll link it in the show. But see,
So
there's an example.
this is just some pictures, and it has a handwritten recipe in this picture here. So this is just a picture of the recipe card that's included in the book.
Yeah.
On the table. But then let me find, there was a page that I opened to.
While you're looking for that, I wanted to show everybody, like in the one that Mary did for her grandmother, here's a picture of her grandparents when they were 19 and 15 and they're on the beach.
How cute.
So it doesn't have to necessarily be a picture of them cooking. There's a
Yeah.
wedding picture of the grandmother. Just, because some of your family members may have never seen these pictures.
Mm-hmm. This is this lady serving it.
It's a Jell-O.
The Jello mold. Yeah. Okay. And it's got the story behind it. So this is the dish. It lists the dish and the tell. And that's Sarah's thing, dish and tell. And so I can't wait to have her on because y'all will love hearing from her.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
think about it.
So this is how to get started. You send one text or email to the family. I'm putting together a keepsake recipe book for the holiday, and here's how you can help. Naming it out loud helps with buy-in and stops 3 people from starting 3 competing versions. So someone has to take the lead on this. Set a deadline for submissions that's like 6 to 8 weeks before the gift date and gives a buffer for inevitable people who just are like, oh yeah, I completely forgot about that. Make contributing stupid easy. We talked about the Google Drive, just dumping folders in there. Some of your family members may be a little technologically impaired, so their kids may have to help them to do. I know Mr. Twist, there would be no way he'd be able to figure out how to do a Google Drive. Send a single prompt, not a form. Send me a photo of a recipe and one sentence about why it matters to you. One sentence lowers the barrier of people freezing up thinking, oh my gosh, now I've got to write something meaningful. Because that's kind of been my sister's thing, is that I'll ask her to tell me a story about something and I think it's just too overwhelming for her to narrow it down. Assign the non-negotiable tasks, the story hunt. The lead's real job isn't design. It's tracking down the stories before they're lost. That means one phone call to the oldest living relative who remembers the context. This is the piece no one else will do, and it's the piece that turns a recipe collection just from a recipe book into an heirloom.
Love it.
Pick one format, one person executes. So maybe you divide up the work. Maybe you have one person that's the call to action. I'm going to be the person to receive the information. Then you have one person that's like, have you sent it in yet? We don't have your information. And then maybe you have another family member who's the format person. One person executes the committee by consensus and kills these projects. There's always one person that kills these projects. So you don't want to have a committee. You want to have just people that are we're driving the bus on that.
Mm-hmm.
One person picks the platform. Right now, coupons are going to start dropping in our mailboxes for Christmas in July. If you order your books now, they're 50 to 75% off. I know I love Walgreens because they always do 60%
They
off
really
of
have
their
good
stuff.
sales. Mm-hmm.
The lead picks the platform and it just runs better with one person with a finished imperfect book that had rather than an endless deadline
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
or debate over it. Delegate one task per person. If others want to help, one person types up the recipe, one scans the photos, one does the layout and the story weaving. And then what you want to try to do is you're trying to tell a story with this as a living document. Frame it to the family as volume 1, not the final word. It takes the pressure of getting every recipe in this year. So it's easier to say yes, that it's not a forever or done thing.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I love
So
it.
if anybody has done this project,
Mm-hmm.
we'd love to hear how it went for you and maybe some tools or tricks or sources. Send us an email at the sentimentaltwistpodcast@gmail.com. We'd love to hear about your cookbook, your heirloom cookbook collection in terms of has your family done this, or have you randomly picked up someone's at a antique store or estate sale? So,
Yeah, I love that. Well,
okay.
it's time to close the show, and it is my week to share the toast to sentiment, where we share a sentimental quote or story or poem, or just we end with a toast to something that's important to us, maybe that we talked about in the episode. And so this time, last episode we talked a lot about like savoring the summer and not rushing towards the fall. And then today we started talking about like gentle ways to soft launch fall. And now we're talking about family heirlooms and recipes. And I think back to those times in my life of around the kitchen bar with my grandmother cooking and the kitchen table and things like that. And it made me think of this line, the good old days are being made today. You hear like you're in the good old days. And so we spend so much time, and we've talked about this, either longing for the past or rushing and preparing for what is next, that we sometimes forget that the everyday is meaningful. This cup of coffee, this Tuesday dinner, this bouquet from the garden, this tarnished spoon, these handwritten recipe cards spread across the kitchen table. That's a moment in the good old days for you to not only reminisce, not only plan for the future, but savor right now. And those will be the things that people remember, like the ordinary moments are the things that people almost always remember the most. And so we share a lot here about making a home that is sentimental and personal. We talk about hospitality and bringing people and gathering people in a way that fosters community and love and joy and peace and like healing and comfort. And so all of these things are not expensive. It's about time and attention and thinking about it in the moment that these are the good old days and make those good old days special right now. So this week, use the silver, cook the family recipe. I'm going to cook some cream corn and ask some questions of the people that you still have around, whether it be about recipes or home decor and furniture pieces, because these are the memories worth preserving. You're in the good old days right now. And so here's to, let me get my glass, the good old days.
Cheers. I love
Cheers.
that. I love that.
Aw.
That was such a good message. This was a good episode. I love that.
All of them
I
are
said
good.
every one of them. Okay,
Well,
so that's all for today's show. As episode of the Sentimental Twist, we encourage you, if this is your first time listening, welcome. We're happy to have you here. We love hearing from new listeners. We'd love for you to review the podcast, save it, share it with a friend who loves meaningful spaces and gracious hospitality. Give sure to give us feedback or comments on our YouTube. You can watch it on YouTube, which is always fun to do. And I'm on Instagram at Home with a Twist, homewithatwist.com, and then on YouTube, Home with a Twist.
Brittany Shepard on Instagram, the Sentimental Decorator, and Brittany Shepard TSD on YouTube.
And be sure to send us an email at the sentimentaltwistpodcast@gmail.com. We'd love to hear from you. Maybe you've got an heirloom recipe that we would love to be able to make that for
Maybe you
you.
can tell me how much butter to put in the cream corn.
Yes. Yes. Help a girl out. Okay, that's all for today. Thank you for joining us on the Sentimental Twist.
Where we believe every space tells a story.
And every story deserves a place at the table. Until next time.
Keep things cozy, collected, and a little bit sentimental. Bye, y'all.
Bye, everybody.